is in Miami-Dade County. David started his day down in Monroe County in the Keys. And David, we just spoke with the mayor, George Nugent of Monroe County, who is staying behind, even though that entire county has been evacuated. You have left the county as well at our behest, because we want you and Mitch Cuba, your photojournalist, to be safe. And you're in Cutler Bay. What's going on there?
Right. We're actually at my dad's house here in Cutler Bay. This is Saga Bay. We're just east of Old Cutler. This is an evacuation zone. And this is my old neighborhood. I grew up here. You can see, very dark, very empty. Most of the neighborhood has left. And in Hurricane Andrew, this neighborhood, a couple of people stayed, but this was a neighborhood that was wiped out with the storm surge. It was hit very hard. I'm going to flip around, Mitch. I want you to show the house that exists here today. This is a brand new house. This was post-Hurricane Andrew. Our house was wiped out, and my dad rebuilt here. He decided, instead of leaving, a lot of people left to Broward County and points north, but we decided to stay here and rebuild a life, basically. I'm going to take you guys inside because I want to show you my brother's been hard at work the last week while I've been reporting. My dad's not here. He's actually in Costa Rica right now. He was down there visiting when this whole thing happened, and he decided not to come back, which I would probably say is pretty wise. I'm sure most people's garages down here in South Dade, anyone along the East Coast, looks like this. Mitch, be careful down there, all right, as you come through. Everyone's just bringing everything inside as much as you can, and we're going to come on inside. Mitch, I'm going to hold the door for you. You can go up ahead of me. Oh, my goodness, tight fit. All right, whoa, watch there. Okay, whoa, hold on. Okay, you're good, go for it. So we're gonna go along here to the left, and yeah, we're gonna go, well, there we go, perfect. All right, so my brother's been hard at work. I'm sure a lot of you guys, as you stir and prep and you're leaving your house and you're not quite sure what things are going to look like, are doing stuff like this. Everyone is really worried about the storm surge coming in here, busting through doors, water coming into a house. So we're doing stuff like that, and you've brought in everything from the outside. And this is what many people's living rooms look like in this area right now. You've got it all stacked up inside, and you're sort of waiting this out. The one thing that is unique in all this, look at the glass. There's no storm shutters up here. And it's sort of the aspect of much easier to replace a pane of glass here. You're not going to stay here in a hurricane kind of thing. They're just not able to really protect. I want to swing around here and the other thing you'll notice, I don't know if you see a lot of it here, but most of the walls are empty. My brother, has taken off all the pictures off the walls and whatnot. He's hanging out here. Hi, Mike. I promised him I would not make him do an interview with us because he's had a very long week. He's been helping everybody in the neighborhood get ready, as many people have been working together on this. I wanted to share a little something with you guys that sort of, I know that anybody who went through Andrew, there's a lot of families that have these, that it's sort of like a catalog of what happened. That's the old house that we used to live in here in Saga Bay. All right, and you can see these were the pictures. A lot of you probably did this over the last few days, where you took pictures of your house to document what exists, and so for insurance purposes that you can make your claims. The kitchen here, our computer. This is 1992, August 23rd, 1992 here, and so that was the room, and the kids' room here, and here's the day after here. All right. My little brother, Derek, it looks like there. It's the backyard. You notice the water there. This is the pool, completely black. The water from the ocean came pouring in here and became a real mess. There was fish, there was shrimp, there was all kinds of things in people's yards. It was just incredible. The water, essentially, was about up to here on the house. By the time we were able to get in here, a lot of these pictures don't show the water anymore because by the time we were able to get in here, a lot of it had subsided. But you had that kind of water throughout the entire house, all of the drywall rotting. It was a real mess, and everything had to be gutted out. And honestly, a lot of things changed on this day for a lot of people. Here we are putting our insurance numbers on and policies on here. It was just a crazy time. So anyway, just as we go through this is what everyone that went through Andrew that lives in these evacuation zones are thinking about. I just spoke with our neighbor over here, Ozzy. He just evacuated his family out tonight. They've got several kids, and they weren't even thinking about staying. They knew the water was something to be concerned about, and so they made their move. They were just sort of waiting for the last minute to make that. The roads are completely empty, so and they're not going far. They're going inland, but nonetheless, pretty crazy. Actually, here's some water pictures. This is actually pretty good to simulate what storm surge looks like in South Dade, in the Saga Bay area. This is just east of Cutler Ridge, I'm sorry, Old Cutler, and what was Cutler Ridge, now Cutler Bay.
David, if you can hear me, I don't know when the last time you saw these pictures was, but what's kind of going through your mind right now? I know that usually you're not used to being the story, but here we are in your family home, and you're looking at these memories of this experience you went through, and knowing that another storm is on the way. What's going through your mind right now?
So I look back on this and I sort of think about how everything changed. For everything, like our whole lives just changed in a minute. And I know like a lot of people use this as a seminal moment before Andrew and after Andrew, but for us it was, everything changed. You know, here we are, this is a picture of our family as our house was being torn apart by a bulldozer. That's all of us. I look terrible, but that is me. That is my dad, little brother Sean, my stepmother Patricia, and Derek, and my older brother Mike. The bulldozer here is actually tearing down the house here. Looking at this is just, you know, when I was doing a recap piece about the 25th anniversary, I was sort of thinking about what changed, and one of the folks I interviewed said the middle class left. And I think that was a major impact here. Not just middle class in terms of economics, but just in terms of people that lived here. People that lived here all their lives, they left. And it was infilled with people who had no connection to the community, and it was a start over for all of us. And so that was really tough for us to sort of endure. For my dad, it was a very anxious time. And I was actually talking to him about this a few weeks ago. If he had to do it all over again, and he said he probably wouldn't, he would have left. He wouldn't have stayed and rebuilt. You know, I'm glad, you know, that we did, and we still have our connection here in South Dade. We still have many friends here, and we still love it. But it was certainly a life-changing moment for all of us. We lost a lot of friends who just moved on and left this place, and the community just, I think everyone had this anticipation that it was going to come back and be the same place, and it wasn't.
And,
I'm sorry, go ahead. Well, I was going to say the heartbreak of folks like your dad who stayed, who rebuilt their lives, only to now face the possibility of having a very similar kind of storm and loss happen all over again.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of anxiety. Anybody who went through Andrew, you mentioned the name, you put yourself in a cone here, and you sort of just get this very uneasy feeling, and you just go into go mode. Some people are go mode people, where they just got to do things to keep myself occupied, and so they start putting up shutters, they start doing all these things. They do it. They're the first ones to do everything, and they're over prepared. They've got, you know, more gas cans than the whole block. They're because they've been through it. They exist. You know, they know what it's like, and it's just crazy. But as we go through this storm, I'm loving the fact that the track is moving. In terms of, for this community, I'm very happy. I'm worried for the Keys. I worked for 5 years in Southwest Florida, and I went through Hurricane Charlie on Fort Myers Beach. And that's an area that just storm surge-wise, it's a very bad situation. And I'm really worried for them over there. I hope that they were able to make it out.
And how are you talking to your own kids now? I mean, now you are the father who is going to be explaining the storm to your own.
What have you told your daughter?
Yeah, so we haven't told her all that much. My wife has really been sort of handling that. And really the message that we've been doing, and I kind of recommend this for all kids, is just sort of explain it, but don't be fearful. We don't put the TV on. We haven't had the TV on all week. But we've had it on today. Obviously, it matters really right now. We were getting the message. We were still communicating the message, but we didn't keep it on all the time. We kept a lot of distractions. My wife did a great job with doing like some play dates and sort of getting her to still have some sort of sense of normalcy while all this unusual stuff is going on around. So that's been going on here. This is actually the rebuild of the house here during the construction of it.
Well, the place looks great. Your dad obviously did a very nice job with the rebuild, and I'm glad that your brother was there to help prepare it for the storm with your dad out of town. and I'm glad that you are too, that you're together with him during this tough time. But thanks very much for giving us a little window into your personal story there, David.
And also, quick
No
question.
worries, guys.
Does your dad know that
Yeah.
we've all gone on a tour of his house now? Or is he going to find that out later?
Yeah, I sent him a quick text. He's watching every minute of the coverage on Channel 4. They actually get this in Costa Rica, just like many of the Caribbean islands. A lot of Central American countries get CBS4, and so he's been watching your coverage. He's been watching every time Craig comes out and says something. He sends me a text asking me a question about it or asking me about the storm surge levels. He's very into it. He's following the storm very closely, and I'm sure he's watching right now. Dad, your house is completely safe. Michael did a great job. Everything's inside.
Good job, Mike.
And like you, Mike, good job. Rick says good job. Dad, I think you and I are going to be very happy with the way things are going right now. Obviously, we know from Andrew how things changed in a heartbeat,
Yep.
but tonight, I think this is great for the folks living along the East Coast. This was a very devastating path a day ago. And this is what we needed. Even if it changes tomorrow morning, I think at least tonight we can have a little bit of peace of mind.
Well, like we've been saying the whole time, we're all, as a community, going through it together. Some of us have memories in the bank that, you know, you can't change that perspective after experiencing Andrew, but we're all going to take it together and go as a community.
Get some rest, David and Mitch. Thanks
Absolutely.
so much.
Thanks, guys.